All right, and welcome to another Friday Reload. This is Friday Reload number 21. So some of our top headlines: how to get clients by sending cold emails, a case study on how to grow sales by 185%, spoiler alert, by using case studies, and 25 lessons from 25 months of content marketing. And of course, we have more. Now, if this is your first Friday Reload, know that what we aim to do is get you caught up on what you might have missed in the week. So we keep it short, sweet, with just the meat. We cut through the fluff and we summarize the best posts, news, videos, tips, tricks, hacks, all that jazz of the week. And this is for the week of September 26th. So first story here, the best traffic sources you've never heard of. We all are always, hey, if you're listening to this pod, 96% chance more traffic. We are all always looking for more traffic to our site. So we had on Charles Kirkland, the founder of the Media Buyers Association. He's one of the leaders in paid digital media buying, and he's been a repeat top vendor on ClickBank. He tells us about some of the secret sources that can drive huge amounts of traffic. Now, we cover a range of topics related to media buying and traffic, such as the mindset of the user and how that affects your landing page and offer, how important metrics are for paid media, day parting, why sometimes you actually want to be number 2 in the ads. You don't want to be number 1. Sometimes you want to be number 2. How you can use level A and level B for targeting. A special tool that he uses that will help you generate thousands of sites to target from one competitor. How you can become a sniper with your bidding. Pretty high level thing there with the sniper, actually. Why targeting different variations of a URL can drastically increase or decrease your ROI. Targeting based on user intent, and making sure to verify your traffic so you never get burned. Next up, we have a news update. Now, this came out about 10 days ago or so. It must have slipped through the cracks of the last reload. And this is an update to tailored audiences. Now, if tailored audiences sound familiar, think Twitter's custom audiences. Now, they've done a little bit of retooling and such. Management side is easier. You can now target by lookalike only targeting. But what we really care about here are these new list audiences. So now, before, you could only create audiences based on email addresses. Now you can create audiences based on mobile phone numbers, Twitter usernames, Twitter user IDs, and mobile advertising IDs. So it'll be interesting to see how this works out. I say that gingerly. Hopefully people don't abuse this system. Let's put it that way. I'm excited with the more capabilities. Twitter's ad platform is making leaps and bounds. I talked with Justin Brook about it, who we'll probably have on the podcast in about 2 to 3 weeks. He loves the Twitter ad platform, really likes it, has been using it a lot. So, and it keeps getting better. It keeps getting better all the time. Next up, we have how to get clients by sending cold emails. So this one comes from coveted consultant. I believe his name is, let me scroll down to the bottom here, Alze Calhoun. So shout out to Alze. And he has a post on how to get clients by sending cold email, but not just any clients, how to get high-end clients. And this is pretty interesting. I love that cold emails seem to be having this renaissance right now. And everything from, I know there's the content promotion method to closing high-end clients now. It really seems like cold email is just resurged as this big thing. Obviously, there's canned spam concerns and other things of that nature, but it doesn't surprise me in a day and age where reach and attention is really hard to get, and reach has really dropped off. Had someone at the door there. Reach has really dropped off. Email seems to be the thing that people keep coming back to time and time again, and it makes sense. The best way to get your message across typically is via email. So, hey, why not send cold emails? So our consultant buddy here shows us the exact process he used to promote a high-end consulting offer by sending cold emails. I want to show you exactly how I did it so you can copy the strategy step by step and close high-value clients of your own. Now, for the podcast, naturally, I'm not going to go too in depth, but I will jump over the points. Now, he does list a few important points. The people he contacted had no idea who he was when he reached out. He kept the strategy very simple on purpose. The program he was offering was a $25,000 consulting arrangement. Feel free to do whatever works for your business. And he's no way saying that you're going to have the same results that he did. You might do better, you might do worse. But what he is saying, and I really like this point, is having a strategy and following it every day is better than not having one and wishing every day. So he also has a 40-minute video walkthrough and a free guide. But we're going to do what we can here to summarize. So this is how to get high-end consulting clients by sending cold emails, step by step. Step 0, shift your attitude. His decision was if he's going to do the work of a campaign like this, he wanted to get his money's worth. But he wanted to offer something interesting and powerful enough to get a response from a cold email and keep him motivated until he got that response. So step 1, define your superpower. So fill in these blanks. I help people accomplish a goal with my skills. Some of the examples that he gives here, let me scroll down a little bit. I help people grow their business with video. I help people turn $1 into $3 with advanced paid traffic strategies. Step 2, define their problem. Fill in this blank. If you have a problem with big issue, I can help you. If you have a problem with making paid traffic profitable, I can help you. If you have a problem keeping your marriage exciting, I can help you. If you have a problem creating videos, I can help you. Step 3, develop your program, price, and time frame. This part I really like. This is kind of systemizing your consulting. How many steps does it take to go from where your prospective client is now to the end result they desire? So he has 6 different phases. Diagnostic. Phase 1, diagnostic. What's the problem? Phase 2, triage the worst issue. Well, we need to fix this now. 3, reveal a better model. Here's the approach you should use instead. 4, supervise them. You do it while watching correct. 5, self-study. You do it by yourself and tell me what happens. 6, conclude. What did you learn? What's next? So your program should be like aspirin for your prospect's headache. It should be easy to digest and quick to create results. So pick a price and a time frame. He gives a few different example prices. He gives a few different example time frames. Step 4, develop your outreach email. You want to send a short, welcoming, but potent email to describe who the offering is for and who it's not. A brief outline of the email flows like this. I kind of dig into it a little bit. Subject, have you thought about solution in year? Hello, name. We last talked at this location. I thought you might be looking for solution to a problem. I have a number of ready-made solutions that work really well for ideal clients. I wonder if you'd be interested in applying these same solutions to your existing situation. All you have to do is hit reply to this email and tell me you are interested. We will set up a short strategy call to discuss what is possible. For your clarity, my strategies work best for people with criteria 1, criteria 2, criteria 3, criteria 4. Who this is not for, people with bad criteria, number 1. Interested? Simply press reply now and I'll respond with more information and we can set up a time to speak. Step 5, develop your target list. This one's pretty basic. Reach out. So your customer list is your best. Your prospect list, Google contacts, LinkedIn connections, Facebook friends, business cards, so on. Step 6, send out the emails. So he sent out a total of 166 emails and averaged about 8 emails a day. You might want to send out 1 a day, 6 a day, or 12 a day. There's no correct answer. Do what you can to reach enough people that a conversion rate can take an effect. He sent the emails himself. I would recommend doing that, but you can outsource it. Step 7, set an appointment. If you want to get fancy, you can use fancy tools, but really you just need to set up a free consultation time. Offer a few different times. Don't just say, oh, my entire week's open. No one can make a decision on that. Say, Tuesday at 2 p.m. or Wednesday at 1 p.m. or Thursday at 9 a.m., for example. You will then call them at the time they select. Step 8, and this one's important. Listen first, talk second. You need to listen as hard as you can to their situation. Open up with the conversation. So tell me about your experience with problem, and then let them tell you what their experience is. Now, how do you close? You let them finish their story. Now, be sure to ask so that you're clear on their problem. Once you've done these two, simply ask, do you want help with that? Step 9, how to handle the second and what should be the final call. Here's your format for the second call. Here's what I heard you say. Here's how I can help. Are you ready to get started today? Then be quiet. They will tell you what they want to do. Now, resist a third call. Now, the whole point of having a second call later is that their mind should be about 80% made up by the time you get on the call. They've had some time to think it over, and they should be ready and know whether they are going to buy or not. That's the entire strategy. And he says if you do it right, you should not need a third call. Why? Because you don't want to be having a bunch of free consultation calls. You want to have your call, show what you can offer, and then figure out if it's moving forward or not. Now, next up, we have case study. How I used a case study to grow my sales by 185%. So Neil Patel shares the results from his case study experiment. This would actually go perfectly with the cold emailing. You will learn. So he tested out 3 different case studies. He has his site, neilpatel.com. On his site, neilpatel.com, let's pull it up here. So on his site, he has a big old simple lander that says, do you want more traffic? Now, he's gone from that and tested out having 3 case studies. Now, these 3 case studies are in the testimonials section. And scroll down, you'll see a case study, you'll see testimonials, you'll see a case study, you'll see testimonials. So his results were a bit unexpected with this whole, he tested it out at first really to try to generate leads. So what he first noticed with his case studies was he thought that more detail would increase conversions, but Google Analytics data showed him that people didn't really fully read the case studies anyway. One of his first case studies, 2,286 words. Average time read, 2 minutes, 27 seconds. When he reduced it down to 615 words, the average time was 2 minutes and 18 seconds. So that's about 1/3 of the words for what, 9 seconds less? That's pretty crazy. In addition to that, by shortening the page, it increased the number of leads they generated by 39%. But after multiple tests, he found that case studies are actually best for growing revenue, not leads. So 2 of the things that he noticed that worked really well with the case studies. Email follow-up with case studies. So while case studies might not generate, you the highest number of leads, he did A/B testing. He did find that integrating them within your sales and marketing process can drastically increase your closing rate. So he stole this concept from Single Grain. What they do is they email you case studies after you have a call with them. How familiar does that sound? You want to attach a few case studies to that email, something Single Grain does as well. He found that by sending emails similar to the one above, you can see it on the screen here, or if you head over to Friday Reload number 21 on digitaltriggers.io, there's a link to it, of course. Now, you email the case studies after you have a call with them. He said by sending these emails after calls and including case studies, they were able to increase their closing ratio by 70%. Wow. Number 2, case studies included with proposals. In addition to that, we started including case studies within our proposal. The reason why they did this, they saw the proposal was getting viewed a number of times by unique IP addresses. So the proposal is kind of getting passed around before someone puts the final stamp and seal of approval on it. So you might talk to one person on the phone, but 5 people might see that proposal. So he included the case studies at the end of the proposal after the signature. By including the case studies at the end, we found that it helped build more trust with the decision maker, which caused a 115% increase in signups. Pretty huge, pretty huge. So case studies, it makes a lot of sense to me. I mean, we're about to dive into 2 huge pieces on content marketing, and they talk about customer success stories and remembering that it's about your customer, it's not about you. Case studies make a lot of sense there. I mean, testimonials in this day and age, it's really hard to trust them, even a video. I mean, and I could be biased here, maybe I'm wrong, but I think case studies, because the information's more depth, it feels more concrete. It feels like, I wouldn't tell you information if this didn't really happen. So I think that's why case studies succeed like they do, or why I think they can succeed like they do. And hey, I don't need to do the talking because Neil just did it. So next up, we have 25 lessons from 25 months of content marketing. So after 25 months of content marketing over at Help Scout, they've included 25 of the lessons they picked up. I've included a few below. Number 2, content cost. Effective teaching requires more than mere education, motivation, modeling, entertainment, etc. The bottom line is that content succeeds when it helps customers succeed. Number 4, content culture, you don't. Either the whole team ride the content train or you never leave the station. This doesn't require everyone to write, but it does require interest in collaboration. Number 6, weaknesses, but compete with your strengths. Number 9, nobody wants to follow a story without a narrative. Number 10, design is into the experience. Number 11, email is the golden god. They quote, just like Dennis Reynolds from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, email remains the golden god. It's the channel of choice for marketers who want to make sales, not hashtags. Number 12, one page, one term. So for each page, pick one term. Take the time to pick a solid keyword for every marketing page on your site, including blog posts. And can go a really long way in giving these pages shelf life. They give an example of 2 posts, one with a target keyword, one without. And the second post, basically you see the traffic has a spike and then it slowly grows, whereas the other one has a spike and then the traffic's dead. That's because it ended up getting a number 1 result. Number 14, big content is still worth the effort, whether it be interactive, animated, beautifully designed, etc., etc. Going big generally pays off if you take the launch seriously. It took a while for some of our resources, like the art of customer loyalty, to finally get the attention they deserved, but it was worth the wait. Number 16, put the spotlight on customers. Let customers do your selling for you by inviting them to provide quotes or even write for you. 21, networking is something everybody overlooks. Getting syndicated, getting featured on big sites, being able to reach out to other people who already have audiences, all things accomplished with networking. The cabin dwelling novelist is not the person you want for your first content hire. I also want to make a note, they talked about wheat versus white bread, which is kind of think of like the top 7 craziest landing page tactics that you need to be doing now. That kind of stuff can get shares. We're not going to deny it. But the kind of things that typically end up creating sales are those things that actually educate and have substance. Next up, we have the definite guide to content marketing. So I told you, 2 big pieces on content marketing here. In the early days of I Done This, we had never heard of content marketing. I'm quoting them directly here. We had no cash, no knowledge on how to acquire customers, and no idea how to run a business. And we figured that we'd write a few blog posts about what we're trying to accomplish with I Done This. That tiny idea is how our journey into content marketing began. And it's how we grew I Done This from nothing to becoming $1 million business entirely through content marketing. This guide includes absolutely everything we've learned about content marketing. We'd love to hear what you think on Twitter at I Done This. So this being the quote unquote definite guide, it's a big one. It's a huge one. It literally has its own table of contents. Let me scroll down here. It literally has its own table of contents. I mean, That's a monster of a post. So we're going to highlight some of the top ones as usual. Let me scroll down here. So number 1, tell your own story with content marketing. Number 2, the power law of content marketing. Basically, this is similar to the 80-20 rule. So 80% of the results come from 20% of the effort. Now, you might start to feel like content marketing is a waste of time because you can only, make these hits that knock it out the park every once in a while, and it's not repeatable. It's not scalable. But what you actually start to see from the data is it's more just a matter of putting in the work. If you put out, the 20 blog posts, 2 of them are going to hit very well. And that's just how it is. Number 3, that leverages community. 4, content marketing that gets featured. 5, content marketing as a distribution problem. Number 6, the 3 R's of content creation: remix, reuse, and republish, which we'll get into in just a second. And number 7, company culture as your content marketing differentiator. So these three R's of content creation: remix, reuse, and republish. Let's go into their story here. Leo of Buffer advises the exact opposite approach. Copy the hell out of others. While you should never steal another person's writing, you should always look at what content has been successful in your area and mimic it while making your own. I wrote a blog post that over 30,000 people read in less than an hour using Leo's technique. My product, I Done This, helps make people and teams more productive. So I knew that I wanted to write a blog post about personal productivity. Instead of racking his brain for ideas, he took to Hacker News, a popular link sharing site, and searched productivity. He got 2 links: Mark Andresi, Guide to Personal Productivity, and Jerry Seinfeld's Productivity Secret. These were the 2 links that got the most attention by far. He pulled out one interesting tip from Andresi's guide on how he stays productive and made that interesting nugget an entire blog post. Then he played on the title of the successful Seinfeld post by calling his article Mark Andresi's Productivity Trick to Feeling Marvelously Efficient. He had no doubt that people would love the post because because the content had already been de-risked. He knew that people already like this content. So sure enough, it worked out. Tens of thousands of people read, shared, and learned a valuable technique from the article. Next up, we have an interesting way to look at competition. Now, I want you to keep your minds open. It does focus on kind of local results in Google Maps. I think this can be applied to anything. So don't just analyze the number 1 guy. Don't just compete with number 1. Compete with the stretcher or the guy stretching the map. So this comes, we're going to read the example. Well, let's just remind you, you can use this for anything. Look at the outlier, the person who's kind of moving the market or shifting the market. So the example itself. Which of your local search competitors is most worth learning from? Obvious answer, whoever's number 1. Now, a lot of times they would agree that all other things being equal, you should probably pay more attention to the king of the hill rather than the prince of the pile. But what I'd really want to know is who's stretching Google's map here of an Attorney Jackson in Tennessee. There's a lot of different results, but the D result is way out there. I mean, it looks like he's across a highway. He's that far away. But yet he's still coming up in the map and stretching the map. So pretty much all the other attorneys in Jackson, Tennessee are right in the middle of the town. If not for the one guy, the map would be centered on Central Jackson. But he causes the whole map to pull north by 5.5 miles. Danny D. Timoso said something they thought was brilliant. Find out whatever D is doing, the guy stretching the map. They've managed to drag the map, which means they're doing something right. Turns out the attorney who stretches that particular map isn't doing anything extraordinary. On the other hand, he's got clean citations, a page for every case type, a good homepage, title tag, and no toxic links. On the other hand, he's got no Google reviews, no noteworthy links, and he doesn't seem to be listed on many attorney-specific sites. But being solid on the fundamentals is usually all you need to rank pretty well, if not to stretch the map. He's had clients in that nice position, and he's had clients up against stretchy competitors. Pay attention to businesses that stretch the map in your market and others. They're easy enough to spot. Next up, we have you can incentivize Google Plus reviews. So reviews, obviously a big part of local marketing, marketing in general, SEO. We all want these reviews, but we can't, use our usual tricks and coercion to get these reviews. But what if we could? It's just a little bit different than we thought. So this is another one from Local Visibility Search. This time focusing on a unique angle for getting customers to write reviews. So now you aren't allowed to incentivize people to write a review, but you can go Mr. Rogers instead. Let me pull up my little image here. Mr. Rogers, wonderful sweater, much swag, so much swag. So you can do it by telling customers that whichever employee, technician, hygienist, etc., who help them will get a small bonus for any positive feedback about the job they did. It's not a new concept, but it worked like a charm for his friend and longtime client who's put it into practice for getting reviews on Google and elsewhere. Here's exactly what he tells customers. By the way, any members of our crew who serve you today will get a bonus for any positive comments you'd like to add about their performance. This works because you're not waving money or an Amazon gift card in reviewers' faces. You're not telling them that their word, their very reputation is worth just $25 or $50. Rather, you're appealing to the part of human nature that enjoys helping other people out. You're also deferring to your customers' judgment. So this is one of those where we have awesome input from the comments. So we are going to reference what Mikkel said. Let me scroll down here and what Marcus said. So Mikkel, this is a great point to mention, Phil. Currently using a tactic like this with the client and made a competition out of it. If the reviewer uses the server's name in the review, we keep track, and the server with the most mentions wins $100 cash money at the end of the month. We placed a grease board where all employees walk in and out and keep the top 5 up there. Needless to say, a little internal razzling goes a long way. Result, 250 reviews and counting in 9 months. Also, we suggest that the servers only ask tables that they feel are excited about their visit. This is double-sided because we have found that more employees work harder to connect with their tables, aka provide better customer service. So a win-win, if you know what I mean. And then Marcus also says, hey, Phil, we've found that simply asking nicely can be enough. Better still, a simple customer service-oriented email after the purchase is complete and where the customer responds with glowing praise, a simple heartfelt request for a review works wonders. That's great. So glad you are happy. I wonder if we could ask a small favor. We're a small company and online reviews really help demonstrate the level of service we pride ourselves in. If you had a few spare moments and could leave us some feedback at the link below, we would really appreciate it. He says we all need to avoid the temptation to overcomplicate these things and follow the path of least resistance. So there you go. You have a few different ways to carry it out. You have the nice way, you have the competition way, and then you have the just employee or appealing to human kindness incentive way. Next up, we have the greatest sales system that it seems like no one uses. The B2B referral sales system, the magical outbound growth engine most startups never use. Yes, I know they use the term startups. I think this article applies to any businesses here. Anyone, so listen up. So their pitch, want more higher quality customers with a lot less effort than it takes to do cold outbound sales or inbound marketing? Use this simple referral sales system to grow your business starting today. So referral sales can be your #1 source of new hot leads and turn into a massive growth engine for any startup or business. The funny thing is most businesses and startups don't do referral sales. And those that try do a half-assed job at it. So why are referral leads better? Well, no outbound lead you could ever generate in any other form will ever have the same quality as referral leads. There are two levels of quality. Number one, your best customers will most likely know others who run very similar businesses, which means they are highly qualified leads for your company. And two, you're being introduced to them via a friend and have the benefit of trust right at the start of the relationship. Why are so many salespeople doing referral sales wrong? It's scary to ask for more once you close a deal. Salespeople worry that they might jeopardize a deal or they'll turn a positive conversation awkward. Go where others are afraid to go and you'll find massive opportunity. Don't let fear get in the way of winning. I know this is something that I try to do, and I actually need to have a habit of doing more on podcasts, is when I close out asking, hey, do you have someone else that you think would be a good fit for this podcast? Next, when is the best time to ask for a referral? Right after somebody made a purchase. Makes sense. When's the best time to ask for another sale? I know that people like to wait until customers have been around for months. That's fine, but it's also a waste of time. Once someone decides to buy, they're likely to be convinced enough to tell others about it. You should take advantage of this moment to grow your business faster. So, what's the right way to do referral sales? Number one, ask for a referral. Number two, anticipate the no or I'll think about it. Ask one more time right then and there. Number three, make sure to give them an email template and make it easy and frictionless to actually make the introduction. Number four, after you close the referral, make sure your new customer thanks the person who introduced you. So you're closing the feedback loop in a positive way, inspiring more referrals from the original referral. There you go. Now we also have a referral sales script, and the article does referral intro email template, what to do after the close, making them a part of every deal, and how to handle referral incentives. So let's sip this water and jump through that sales script. Are you happy that you chose our product? Customer, yes. Great. Who else do you know who could benefit from a solution like ours? Customer, I'm going to think about this later and get back to you. I appreciate that. I'm sure that over the months and years, as you benefit more and more, we're going to get lots of referrals from you, which is going to be awesome. Today, let's take a minute right now and think about just one friend who is in a similar position and would really benefit from this. Some will tell you no in a slightly more annoyed way. That's okay. Just tell them, okay, I respect that. I will follow up an email, and I really appreciate that you're offering your help. And just leave it at that. Some will give you one or more names just because you pushed one more time. My experience has been that 40% of people give you referrals after the second ask. Write those names down and tell them, great, thank you. I want to make it as easy as possible for you to make that introduction. So you'll get an intro email from me. Just copy and paste it and send it to Bob and Steve. Feel free to make edits or write something yourself if you like. Let's make this happen today. Next up, we are a little lacking this week. Not my fault, I promise. There's no tool time. I didn't see any software, any apps, or anything that really stood out. I had one that was kind of on the waiver wire, and I decided not good enough. So instead, we're going to use and focus on Social Media Examiner's 8 ways to use hyperlapse video from Instagram. If you haven't seen hyperlapse, aren't sure what it does, imagine if you were to film the sunset for 2 hours and then you could speed it up using your phone. It's like that. Basically, you can make really cool videos really easily. So I want to go over their 8 different ideas. Check out the blog post if you want to see videos and examples. Number 1, show visitors what to expect. Number 2, create buzz for new products. For example, unboxing a new shoe that came out. Number 3, sell the experience, not the product. Number 4, pull back the curtain, so behind the scenes. Number 5, give a tour, pretty similar to pulling back the curtain. Number 6, build excitement around events. Number 7, highlight product or service features. Number 8, tell a story. Like I said, check out the blog post to see examples of each. Next up, we have my story, how a business was built in 3 years. So this is a post by John Loomer. And we have a video up on the blog that talks about it, how he got started and became arguably the most well-known Facebook ads expert. Is he the best guy at Facebook ads? I don't know. Is he the most well-known guy for Facebook ads? I think so. What I really like is how raw it is. I mean, whenever anyone's starting out in business, they're so afraid that, things have to be perfect, and they're always trying to get things perfect. The reality is, for anyone, is that it's never perfect. You stumble, you bumble, and you make it through, and you come out on the other side. And through that process, you refine it, you work through your own problems, you make it through those ugly first drafts. You look at, old logos and things and you cringe, but you become better for it. So what I'm saying is, if you're worried about starting something, getting something started, just do it. It doesn't matter how ugly or imperfect it is, just get it out there. So a few of the lessons that he learned, let me keep going here. Secrets to his business growth. So he talks about a few different ones, and I want to kind of highlight some of the big ones. Niche focus. Today I'm seen as the Facebook ads guy. I've seen that this can be very important for initial penetration, so to speak. If you're trying to penetrate into a market, it's very hard to say, I'm a business consultant. It's a lot easier to say, I'm a restaurant consultant that focuses on, growing franchising restaurants, or I am a SaaS consultant that focuses on customer retention. I mean, these more kind of exact things, these more focused things, I think can help you break through and become initially known for something. Now, the problem there is you don't want to sandbox yourself into only being good at this one thing. Talks about experimenting. He also talks about list building. He said he stupidly didn't start an email list until his website was about 6 months old, but nowadays it's the lifeblood of his business. He said that though he's given away ebooks and run webinars in the past, he's largely built his list through a very, very simple subscribe to his newsletter approach. It's a lazy approach, but when you get the type of traffic I've been getting, it works. Though I do disagree, and I think he could do a lot better on the on the list building. But he list building is a big deal to anyone. We talk about email a lot here. Next up, products. That list is what drives sales, but first you need something to sell. He said his first products were awful. He had a Facebook page review service that was way underpriced and didn't scale. He had a small group workshop that was, again, underpriced, but hey, he had something. And this is a big part of, when you're starting something, no startup pun lingo intended, but doing things that don't scale. Sure, you might sell a service that doesn't, scale, and it's going to be underpriced, but it gets you in the game. It gets revenue flowing. Next up, he talks monthly recurring revenue. So after products, the next thing is monthly recurring revenue, which is nice because then you don't have your spikes and valleys as much. He also talks about investing. He says he spends, $10K a month or so on his business and advertising nowadays. Next up, delegating. Can't do it all yourself. Stop thinking you can. This is a huge one. I mean, biggest thing you can do today, if you've never done it, is take $50 and spend it on someone doing something for you. I don't care if it's as simple as Fiverr or you actually outsource something. Next up, we have scaling and planning. Scaling makes a lot of sense. He says the systems I had in place a year and 2 years ago could never sustain his business now. He outgrew Aweber in favor of Infusionsoft. He outgrew Premise in favor of Customer Hub. He outgrew unpredictable webinar software for GoToWebinar. But this is one of those, go with what works, and then you'll figure it out as you go along. You're never going to be able to start out perfect. So lastly, we have a big old infographic by Referral Candy, and this is 14 marketing tactics to drive online sales and apps to execute them. Now, like I said, this was a big old infographic, but Growth Hackers right here summarized it for us. So let me head back over to the blog. Scroll down. And let's go over these different 14 marketing tactics and the apps to execute them. So number one, improve store design with Shopify, which has over 100 customizable free and premium themes. Number two, make an exit offer with Exit Offers, which allows you to track success rates and A/B test different messages. Number three, Conduct targeted email campaigns with Emma, which lets you segment your customers according to purchase history. Number 4, encourage users to subscribe to your mailing list with Email Pirate, which creates a fully customizable opt-in window and allows you to track user behavior. Number 5, optimize Facebook ad spend with Propel Ad, which targets prospective leads who are similar to your past customers. Number 6, leverage social proof with product reviews, which is fully customizable, includes theme adaptive design. Also check out Yachtpo. Number 7, anticipate and prepare for future sales with out of stock, which allows you to take orders in advance and sneakily test demand for product ideas too. Number 8, upsell products with product upsell, which allows you to offer different products depending on the contents of your shopping cart, on the contents of the shopping cart of your customers. Number 9, reduce cart abandonment. This is a big one. 2 and 3 carts get abandoned with abandon aid, which automatically remind your customers of their incomplete orders. Number 10, remind your customers about the products they'd like to buy with wishlist plus reminder. He loves this one. Number 11, encourage gifting with Gift Reggie. Gift Reggie, which adapts completely to your store design. It might not be in your products, but if you might not be into the products, but a friend of yours might be. Number 12, launch a Facebook store with Facebook Store. Customers can share their favorite products with their friends. Number 13, leverage Instagram with Instagration. Lots of fashion brands especially benefit from the social proof. People like buying things that look good on their friends. Number 14, promote word of mouth with referral candy. And that's who made the infographic. Most happy customers said they'd refer products to their friends, but few actually do. They get distracted, they forget, things happen. We help you remind them and make the deal a little sweeter. So, time for our honorable mentions. The UX app that's driving design everywhere, from Airbnb to Zappos. The $3.2 billion man, $3.2 billion man, can Google's newest star outsmart Apple? Case study, Manu Kalali? This is a podcast by Smart Passive Income on taking an offline business and productizing it online. Next up, a content strategy template you can build on. Are you making these 5 common user onboarding mistakes and search metrics ranking factors 2014? Why quality content focuses on topics, not keywords. And we have an awesome, cool gift here. Vegas, baby. So everyone enjoy your weekend. I'm going to be in Vegas next week. So do expect the next Friday reload to come around end of day Friday. I would say hopefully 5 p.m. or so Friday, Eastern. Also, if anyone lives out in Vegas, anyone going to be out in Vegas next week, feel free to give me a shout at Dan Sweeney on Twitter, and maybe we can meet up, hang out, grab a beer or something, and talk a little marketing. So everyone, like I said, enjoy your weekend. Have a great time. And I will catch you on the next Triggercast on Tuesday.